Hello.
Morning.
Morning. Good to see you. And we've got scones and tea here. Hopefully you've got something to hand. Good to see you if you're checking in. Give people a chance to grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea. And really good to see you for our coffee catch up this week. We're missing you still, but it's great to be able to check in with you in this way. How's your week been? What's been happening for you? What's been your highlight? Hi Michelle, good to see you. What's been our highlight? A few things.
Don't know.
Barbecue maybe. We had impromptu barbecues when the sun comes out. Get the barbecue on, have something to eat. It's really good.
We've got scones.
Yeah,
My
I know
friend
we've
from
been
work made homemade scones and dropped them around. That was lovely. She's a good friend.
So we can't take any credit for it, but we have some kind of bond this week, which is
It's
amazing.
probably something was eaten, but anyway, we'll go with that.
But, so if I've got a mouthful and I have to pause, that's just the way it is, you know. But really good to check in with you. We've just been having these conversations each week to check in with you guys, but also just to share some of our learning and the ups and downs of COVID and what that means and what that looks like. And so we've got some more stuff to share this morning.
Yeah, so we're thinking about it, counting it up beforehand. We're 3 months now into this lockdown era. And if you're anything like me, it's hard to remember what it was like before, right? It feels like a lifetime ago. And the newfound freedom of a slower life and the pace of lockdown, the benefits of that, it's starting to lose its appeal, to be honest.
For some of us, I think.
I'm missing people. I am completely fed up of Zoom. And yeah, I just want some concrete sense of where we're going, what's going on. And maybe you're like me, maybe the uncertainty's starting to bother you a wee bit.
Yeah. I don't know if you're Zoomed out. There's a lot of people I've been talking to who've been Zoomed out, you know, but maybe you're not Facebooked out, and then there you're on this morning. Good to see you, Dawn. Great to see you, Graham. Good to have you on. So some of you, that's not your experience. You're like, I'm just loving my wee lockdown routine right now, and I don't want it to change. You know, you're maybe enjoying the fact that it's not quite as hurried as normal life. Maybe you're enjoying not having to speak to people you don't really like that often. That could be a bonus. Or you know, you just have less of a workload. Maybe you've retreated so much during this time that actually you're kind of nervous about going back to any sense of normality. And maybe if you're honest with yourself, there's a little bit of, you know, I'm missing some kind of connection to something bigger than myself and to a story that's bigger than me.
Yeah, so last week, if you joined us, we kind of invited you into with us pressing into faith.
That's right.
Pressing into the idea of what is possible in a moment when God's there. So how do you find that? How did it go? You know, when we were thinking about it this week and reflecting where to go with it today, we were just thinking that actually it's very easy for a thought, an encounter, something to hit us in a moment, for it to inspire us, for it to call us to more. But then as the days go on, it kind of loses its appeal. As the days go on, you feel less and less inspired, and it's hard for it to keep going. The to-do list, concerns, frustrations, emotions, niggles come in and just distract you. Do you feel that too sometimes?
Yeah, maybe it's just us. I don't know. You know, but yeah, those moments of faith, they're really dramatic, but then sort of just seem to peter out. But we want to try and figure out, you know, what does it mean to stay connected to that source of our faith and life, which is of course Jesus, even in a time where maybe we don't have the same connection points, we don't have the same pick-me-ups maybe that you've had in your pre-COVID experience. And so we're having to try and find new ways to connect with Jesus, find new ways to connect with one another perhaps. And some of that is just at times needing to figure out how to just keep on keeping on. You know, when the COVID-19 is beginning to cause us to wane, how do we push on? How do we keep going? And then also just trying to figure out, you know, how do we use our energy not just to hunker down and survive this moment, but actually I think it's possible to learn what it means to thrive in this moment. And that's what we've been reflecting on a little bit this week, and thinking about that, and thinking about how, I guess, faith for us, it's not just a momentary experience. It's not just something that happens to us in a dramatic moment. We love those moments where God shows up in dramatic ways, but faith goes much deeper than that. It's I guess the way we've put it this week is it's about it gets forged through passionate patience. You know, faith in our lives is forged through passionate patience. And we want to invite you this morning into a journey with us to look at how do we actually develop passionate patience in our life, where faith is not just a momentary experience, but it's built into our lives one step at a time.
Yeah, and for lots of us, that's a bit of the key that we're missing a wee bit. is we don't know how to sustain. We don't know how to sustain faith and hope in our lives. We get an experience of God, but it peters out. And in time and pressure and uncertainty, which this definitely is, it can make or break you. You know, whether you've got hold of passionate patience. I love that phrase because it's not this passive patience of just sitting waiting. It's a passionate patience. It's active. It's enduring. You see, the truth is that Jesus can and wants to use this moment. You know, this moment, whether you feel hemmed in, uncertain, frustrated, if we give him these moments, you know, he is going to keep bringing life out of it, bringing hope out of it. And when we come out of lockdown, it's going to feel different.
Yeah, that's really good. I want to read you a bit from the Bible that just kind of really speaks into this. It's found in Romans, book of Romans, chapter 5. I'm going to read from the Message, verses 3 to 5. Listen to this, it's really good. There's more to come. We continue to shout our praise even when we're hemmed in with troubles. I don't know if you're feeling that at the moment. Because we know how troubles can develop passionate patience in us. You can see where we got that phrase from. And how that patience then in turn forges the tempered steel of virtue, keeping us alert for whatever God will do next. In alert expectancy such as this, we're never left feeling changed. Quite the contrary, actually. We can't round up enough containers to hold everything God generously wants to pour into our lives through the Holy Spirit. It's really good, isn't it? I know, like, if you think about the natural, like, so many things that are beautiful and powerful are actually forged under pressure. You know, you think of a butterfly, like, it comes out of the intensity of the cocoon chrysalis, you know, or if we're making a piece of jewelry, not that I'm a jeweler, but I think oftentimes that's made through metal that's had to be melted down in the fire. You know, or someone that wins a gold medal at the Olympics, you know, that's after years, you know, 4, 8, 12 more years of the daily grind and daily discipline of training. And so things that are beautiful and powerful are often forged out of that passionate patience.
Yeah, and kind of, we're not good at it, are we? Because in our culture, we're used to everything being quick, being instant, everything's set up and made to try to make things easier for us. And I think we've lost a wee bit both of our understanding and also our ability to do passionate patience.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, we haven't learned to value that daily active walking out of our faith through the disappointment and the challenges, also through the joy and the elation we talked about a few weeks ago, but the act of every day and every moment, bringing every thought, every emotion to him and allowing him to reshape us one moment at a time. You know, and like the verse that Ben read said, even in the NIV, you know, it describes it as a perseverance, and this perseverance builds character. But what this leads to, it says, is hope that does not disappoint us.
That's really good. Yeah.
And I love that, hope that doesn't disappoint us.
Yeah, so how do we do that? Like, let's bring that down to a little bit of reality, because it's easy to talk about these things, but sometimes it's difficult to put them into practice. How do we actually partner with God as he wants to work in us powerfully, deeply at this time, especially in moments of pressure and uncertainty and change? And how do we become those kind of people, those people of passionate patience, where faith is being built in our lives one step at a time? Here's some things we've been learning this week. I'm sure there's stuff that you're learning too, which we'd love to hear about, but here's a couple of things that have just been helping us. First thing that we are trying to do is make time for the process, to make space for the process. You know, so often, like Shani said earlier, like we want things to happen straight away. We want to get it done, you know, we want it to make it happen with the click of a finger. But don't rush this, you know. Make space for God throughout your day and your week. You know, make space for honest conversation with him. You know, time to go out on a walk and just speak out loud things that are going on in your heart and pray out those things out loud. Time and for intentional conversations with friends. You know, space in silence, just letting your emotions breathe for a moment and being able to articulate what you're feeling. Creating space for rest, where you're letting the expectations and the demands of other people just be put to the side for a moment. So make space for that, make time for the process, and plan for this. You know, put it into your week, build it into your day. Those things don't happen on, you know, by accident, just on a whim. You have to plan and put them in. And then keep inviting God into those moments. You know, some are fiercely independent. We want God just to zap everything and kind of make it all better in a moment, and God does do that. Like I've seen him do that in my life, where just in a moment he meets us, and it's all transformed. But more often than not, the life of faith is the daily process of bringing our moments to him, every part of our day, every part of our emotion, moment by moment, to him.
Yeah. Well, second point, it's not a deep theological point at all, but you know what? It's one of the most practical, important things. And that's just don't give up. It sounds simple, but don't give up. You know, you get those moments where you just want to throw the towel in, but don't give up. Yeah. Whether you're just able to stand still, whether you're just able to just lie and call out to God or ask people to get around you, there is something that we need to learn about endurance and perseverance and passionate patience, which is simply just don't give up.
Yeah, keep going. That is profound. Like you could just say that and then be gone, to be honest. But there's a bit more. So third point is just expect God's grace in unusual ways. So like we're not able to do all the things that we were able to do before yet. So you might not be able to get that coffee with a friend at Cafe Nero or wherever you like to go, or you might certainly not be able to be part of a dynamic worship gathering where you meet God, or the things that maybe were part of your life and that were moments that got you through and you experienced God before that you don't have. You might not have those right now. But until that changes, God is always making his grace available. Like he is always making it available to us in whatever way we will make ourselves available to him. And sometimes that's not the way we expect or we're used to. It's maybe not the way we imagined. But expect God to show up and make room for him. And don't shut off to his grace, especially if it's just you've only got certain ways that you've learned. But actually, God wants to meet you. He wants to meet us. And if you have a day where you feel like it just all went to pot and like you just made a hash of it, you know, sometimes it's just get to the end of the day, put your head on your pillow, go to sleep, and then wake up the next day and know that God has given you new grace, fresh grace for that day. So expect his grace and expect it in ways that maybe you haven't experienced it before this week.
Yeah, so that's really what we wanted to say this week. We wanted to invite you with us into pursuing passionate patience with us. I'm so expecting for what God has done and what he's going to do, and the faith and the life and the hope that births in you, and we'll get to see it more and more as lockdown eases. But be encouraged. We love you. We miss you. We're praying for you.
Yeah, really good to see you this morning. I was noticing some people popping on there. Good to see you, Debbie, Claire, Anne, and Anya. Good to see you guys. Laura Roberts, I think I saw earlier. There's a few people I missed, I'm sure. Good to have you checking in. If you're watching this back as well, really good to see you. Before we go, we wanted to give you a special invite to Alpha. I don't know if you've heard of Alpha before. Alpha is a course that we are running online next Wednesday night, Wednesday the 17th of June at 7:30 p.m. And it's really for people who are new to faith, exploring what it means to have faith in Jesus, just wanting to ask questions about life and meaning, and to have a space to talk about those deep things, even if you consider yourself agnostic or atheist or whatever. If you just find yourself checking in this conversation by accident and you're thinking, how do I have these conversations? Alpha is just a really helpful space to do that. It's respectful, it's open, you're able to share what you're really thinking. And I want to invite you, if that's where you're at, if you're just new to faith or exploring faith, or you have questions and you want to explore those, why not sign up to Alpha? You can go to our website, fullvineyard.co.uk/alpha, and just sign up there, starting next week, 7:30 online through Zoom. It'd be really good to have you with us. If you are a follower of Jesus, if that's something that is deeply important to you, like why not think about who in your circle or in your life might want to ask those questions, or you've been wanting to have those conversations with them for some time, but you've just not known how to bring it up, or you've not had a way to talk about it. Well, Alpha is just a really great tool to create that environment for those conversations to happen. So why not invite them, maybe come along with them, say, look, I know this is important to me, this is a great space to do it, it's really safe, it's online, you don't have to go to church building, like it's really open. So why not invite them along specifically and come with them? So that's my little plug for Alpha. We're really good to see people sign up for that. Yeah. So other than that, I think my scone's been sitting there and I felt like I couldn't eat it, because if I was eating and trying to talk at the same time, you see, these are things you don't think about on Facebook Live. Yeah. like it's all those little intricacies, you know. You're probably eating your bun and munching and chatting away. And,
enjoy where you are. Okay, we sign out before
yeah,
we waffle anymore.
Probably it's a good time to go. So yeah, see you later. Keep in touch. Bye.
Bye guys. Bye.